Hello, welcome back to the AZ Forerunner Astro Cave. So actually this is my spare bedroom, but this is where I keep all my stuff. And then this is kind of my home office on the other side over there. But that's neither here nor there. So in today's video, I thought that I would go ahead and showcase a little piece of Astro equipment that I picked up a couple months ago. Prior to me picking up this little piece of Astro equipment, I was doing most of my polar alignment the old-fashioned way. So I was on my hands and knees down in the bottom looking up through the polar alignment scope for the most part. I had started using Nina, their 3-star tool, the 3-star alignment tool. Which actually works out very well, but I still always wanted one of these little pieces of Astro gear. And what I'm talking about is, for me, is the Orion P1 polar alignment camera. So you may be thinking to yourself, what is he talking about? Well, Orion actually had a Polemaster equivalent that they sold on their website, and that is the P1 polar alignment camera. It looked exactly like the Polemaster, used almost identical software, and did the exact same thing. Unfortunately, at this time, Orion no longer sells the P1 polar alignment camera. And I don't know that they're going to bring it back. But I thought that I would go through in this video and showcase the camera itself and showcase the software. Just showing how easy it is to actually achieve a very precise polar alignment. Like I said, Orion no longer sells this product. So if you are going to pick one up, you're going to have to find one on Cloudy Nights or Astromart or some other secondary market where somebody is selling this. I was fortunate enough to pick one up on Cloudy Nights. And it came in. It looked absolutely beautiful. I ordered an additional adapter ring from Orion for my Sirius mount, so I can now use it with the Atlas mount or the Sirius mount without any problems. So with that, I guess we can go outside and I'll get the mount set up, and I can start the process of showing you the Orion software. Well, I've got the Sirius mount out right now, and I'm going to use this for my demonstration with the Orion P1 polar alignment camera. I don't have a scope on it. I don't have any counterweights on it. So I think we'll be okay just for demonstration purposes only. But if you were to do this with your Polemaster or with the Orion P1 camera, you're going to want to have your telescope completely balanced in both deck and in RA. So you're going to want to make sure that you have everything balanced and ready to go. That way, when you use the polar alignment camera, you're not going to have to go back in and readjust any balance on your telescope or the counterweights. So we're just going to wait for it to get darker. It's still pretty light out. Sun is still out, but yeah, this is what we're gonna do tonight. So the next piece is going to be pulling up the program on my laptop and running you through the Orion P1 polar alignment camera setup. Okay, so it's still light out, and I thought that it would probably be a good idea to go ahead and mount the camera on for you guys during the daytime or before it gets dark. So, I mean, it's very similar to, actually it's identical to the QHY Polemaster. So that hasn't changed. So here's our camera right here. We have the adapter ring, which on the Orion is blue anodized aluminum. We have the USB cable that connects to the camera. So what we're going to go ahead and do first is we're just going to go ahead and connect the cable to the camera like so. And we're just going to tighten down the thumb screws so that it is secure, and I'll show you guys right here. So right there is the cable, and we're just tightening it down a bit like that. All right, so the way that QHY and Orion as well, so the way that QHY and Orion as well recommend the orientation of the polar camera is with the cable sticking out off to, if you're looking this way, off to the left. Right there, horizontal to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the cap right there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set that right on in there like that. And then tighten down the screw as such, and then I'm just going to go ahead and double check to make sure that it is aligned properly, and just about right there. So right there is the orientation that that they recommend for the Polemaster, or in this case the Orion P1 polar alignment camera. So once the sun goes down and I can see Polaris, I will go ahead and hook everything up to the laptop, and we will continue with the software. Okay guys, so we are here, it's dark now, so I think it is dark enough for us to see the camera view. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my recording of my computer screen, and we will get right into it. Okay, so with the Orion P1 polar camera, you are going to need to download some drivers and some software. These drivers and software can be obtained from the Orion website, and they're practically the same as the Polemaster stuff. So once you download the drivers and then you go ahead and download the software and install it, you should see an icon that says Orion P1. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And if you're familiar with the Polemaster, you are going to see that it looks exactly as the Polemaster software, with the exception that it says Orion P1 up here, and down in this bottom part it doesn't say QHY, it says Orion Telescope and Binoculars. So I have already connected the polar camera to my laptop via the USB cable. So at this point, all I need to do is go in, click on Device, and click Connect. And you're going to see an image of some stars. Now, if you've gotten your polar alignment rough enough, you should see Polaris. It will be the brightest star in your field of view. The field of view, I believe, on this is 11, like an 11 by 8 degree field of view. And the reason why they recommend you put the camera in such the orientation that the USB cable is sticking out from the side to the left or at the 9 o'clock position is because it gives you this nice landscape field of view. Because if not, the view would be rotated 90 degrees. So at this point, it's telling me to set my parameters for my exposure and gain. So if you look, I can change the exposure, and that's going to brighten my stars. I can also adjust the gain, and that too will brighten the stars. And if you can see right there coming across, that is a plane or something just floating across the field of view. So I think exposure, shorter exposure, and a little bit bump the gain up just a little bit is probably enough that I need. So I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to go ahead and say finish. Okay, so right here it's telling me to double click on Polaris and then use the rotation slider to match the template with the stars. So this star here is Polaris. I'm going to double click on it, and as you can see, this is a template that it provides. So with that template, I'm going to take this slider and I'm going to just bring it around until, and I think we're almost there, until I have a star in each one of these little circles. So there's a star there, there's a star there, there, and there, and of course Polaris. So once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and say success or next. And since I've used this previously, it's going to ask me if I want to use the recorded last settings, and I'm going to go ahead and say no for now. Okay, so at this point it's going to ask me to choose a star other than Polaris and double click on it. So we're going to go ahead and pick this star right here. I'm going to double click on it, and now it's going to ask me to rotate my my RA axis. So at this point you should have your mount turned on and either use your hand controller or EQ mod, or however you control your mount. Me, for this purpose and this demonstration purpose, I don't have it connected, and I'm going to just try to rotate it. So I'm going to unlock the RA, and I am going to rotate it about 30 degrees, which is about right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and lock it down. So I rotated it. A minimum of 30 degrees. Has the rotation finished? Yes. Double click on the same star, and I believe this was the star that we clicked on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unlock it and rotate again. That's about another 30 degrees. And I am going to finish and click on that star again. And now we have a green circle that is actually around the North Celestial Pole. And you can see Polaris is not centered in that. However, what we're going to do now is we're going to return our axis, the RA axis, back to the home position, and we're going to watch that star to make sure that it stays in that circle or on that green circle. So we're going to rotate it back. Okay, like so. And if you notice, that star is still on that circle. So I'm going to tell it, yes, this is correct. Okay, and I am going to now double click on Polaris again. So right here, double click. And then again, it's going to ask us about the template. And I can see it's just a little bit off. So we are going to go to about here. And then we are going to say, double click on Polaris, which we did. And then we matched up the template. So now what we need to do is we need to get Polaris into this little dot right here, into this spot. So the way we do that now is we use our Alt-Az to adjust everything. So using your Alt and azimuth bolts, move Polaris into the center of the small rotating ring. And so here we go. So we're going to adjust it just about there. And we're going to have to go up a little. So we're going up. And we will check the top left corner, and you will see that Polaris is slowly getting in that crosshair. And I'm just going to adjust it down just a tad. Okay, and then I'm going to adjust the azimuth again just a little bit. So now I am centered right there. So using your Alt-Az, move Polaris into the center of the small rotating circle now shown in this image. Has the adjustment finished? And I'm going to go ahead and say yes, it has finished. And now it's going to again prompt me to double click on Polaris and check the rotation. So we're going to double click on Polaris and check our rotation. And so if we look, there is a star in each one of these. So I'm going to say that that's good and done. Okay, at this point you can fine tune it. If we click on Start Monitor, it is going to take a couple stars. So there's a star here and take a star here, and it's going to tell us that Polaris should be, that we need to take the red and green and mesh them together. So if I wanted to do some fine adjustment here, got a rock. If I wanted to do some fine adjustment here, I could. My left-right looks like it might be just a little bit off, so we're gonna fix that to about right there. And then the Alt, we're going to just adjust that. I think we're going the wrong way. No, actually, I think that is okay. So right there looks pretty darn good to me. So at this point, I would click Done, and that I would go ahead and continue my night. I would consider my polar alignment done and completed. So, you know, it's pretty easy to do. It keeps you from, I mean, right now I'm on the ground sitting right here by my pool, but I mean, you could have this on a little table if you're out in the field, so you're not on your knees looking through a polar scope, doing it old school. But at this point, I would call this finished. I would go ahead and close that up, and I would be done. I would go ahead and start calibrating my guiding and all that other good stuff. So I hope that you found this semi-useful. Like I had said earlier, unfortunately, the Orion Telescope and Binoculars company no longer sells this polar alignment scope. But if you happen to navigate or check Cloudy Nights or Astromart often, every once in a while one of these will pop up for sale. I was fortunate enough to get mine on Cloudy Nights. Sometimes, or usually, you can find these a little cheaper because they're not as well known as a QHY Polemaster. But in all intents and purposes, it is pretty much the same camera, and it provides the same polar alignment functionality. So with that, I just wanted to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to leave a comment or two in the comments below. I will, reply to all of your comments. Don't forget to hit the little thumbs up that you liked the video. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. More content will follow. We're kind of here in Arizona. Actually, temperatures have been pretty mild right now, but it's been fairly windy. But we're entering into our kind of no imaging time, July and August, because it's just way too hot. So I'm probably not going to have a whole lot of content coming out during this time. I will try to maybe do a live stream here or there, but other than that, I just want to say thanks, guys. Mosquitoes are starting to come out, but yeah, just thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys watching my video. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Tell me if you guys liked this video, if you didn't like this video, if you thought it was useful, wasn't useful, whatever you like. So I just want to thank you guys for sticking around for the video. I hope that you got at least some entertainment out of the video, if not some useful information on the Orion P1 polar alignment camera. Are these types of cameras still relevant in the Astro community, in the astrophotography community? Yeah, I think they are. I know that we have other options and other alternatives, software-based, such as Nina's 3-star alignment tool, and I think you can do polar alignment within SharpCap, and those work just fine for everybody. I have used Nina's alignment tool, and it's just fine. But I've always wanted one of these cameras, so yeah, that's why I picked it up. That's why I got it, and that's why I made this video. So with that, I just want to thank everybody for hanging out. I hope that everybody is imaging. I hope that everybody is getting dark skies, no light pollution, as best as possible, good weather, and thank you very much, and clear skies.